is networking with other people making a share entrepreneurship. I really invite you to it. And it's made also by the partnership of Videoconference, which is a very nice brand of home, which is supporting entrepreneurs doing social impact projects. And actually today, for every tweet that you will do with the hashtag #RunFunding, Videoconference will give 1 euro to a project of social entrepreneurs. Okay, so you can be very, you can help very easily. Just tweet #RunFunding, and actually the tweet of the event is information. So let's go to Thank you.
Thank you, dearest. So we are off in the game. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming. I think half of you are here because it's a must for you to pass the entrepreneurial management course. But the other half is here out of their free will, and that's something that we also encourage. We, as Caroline has told you, we have been for this is the 7th crime that we commit with this entrepreneurship idea. This was 1.5 years ago, just a random kind of conversation with Caroline. We were talking about events that will make sense for the entrepreneurial world. And I told her that it was, well, that at least I was fed up with the same old story about entrepreneurial management and entrepreneurial magic and Herbalife kind of showing off displays. And we wanted to talk about the hardcore parts of entrepreneurial life. And entrepreneurial, our stand is that entrepreneurs are hackers in the broad sense. They are entrepreneurs because they overcome the challenges that they face, and they face problems and they solve them. But in this mythomaniac kind of situation, or this mythomaniac culture that we are driven to through the American way of understanding life, we Europeans sometimes do not fit so well in this kind of mindset. I do, but I think that many Europeans we do not project ourselves in this kind of mythomaniac mindset, and we're much more cynical and down to earth. So that's the idea, to take very general problems that entrepreneurs face and break it down with people that is facing this kind of situations. This brings me to the second slide. This is our pet, the entrepreneurship mascot. She has been with us since the very beginning, or almost. And it's the concept of the uglyism. So we don't need to pretend, or we believe that there's a trend of pretending that we are prettier than we are in the internet, and showing off how awesome we are. If you saw just the social network profiles of my sister, my little sister, 16 years old. It's just, they're always like, this is the nice self. Or maybe we are swinging towards the uglyism, and we want to show the ugly parts of entrepreneurship, not to discourage any of you to do entrepreneurial life, to pursue an entrepreneurial life, but to know which kind of challenges you're going to face. This we haven't done alone, as Caroline was presenting. We have the support of Impact Hub that has been hosting us since the very beginning. We have Movimiento Ritual that has been getting us drunk from the very first day, and they have kept us going with our alcoholism and our desire to keep on doing entrepreneurial life. And we have the one that is standing and supporting with Caroline as the lead, that is the entrepreneurial chair of ESCP Europe that many of you know already. So, and the ones that don't know, you should check. So, these are our guests for tonight. This is going to be an online session. I'm growing very fond of online speakers and getting interesting speakers that are all over the world, and just bring them to the room, bring the people that is interested in these topics to the same room, and open the channel of communication. We will have first our friend Javier Sanz, who is the marketing lead of Quaderno. Quadernoapp is an awesome application that I've been using and paying, even though I didn't. It's a billing platform. I've been using and paying this. I don't know how long, and even when I didn't have bills to send out. But nevertheless, it's cool. It's a very cool platform you should check out. And they are doing a very nice effort that Javier is going to introduce. Then we'll have the face-to-face presentation with Luis, with Luis Díaz del Dedo, who is the former CEO of Guinness Fashion and now the founder of Growth Hacking Spain. Later on, we'll have Ian Collinwood, who will not talk about growth hacking, but he will talk us about retention hacking. What can we do to boost retention? That is probably the most important part of it all. And the plus VAT that I was adding to the messages that you probably saw was my very good friend. My very good friend Carlos Hernández, who is the CEO of Quaderno, and he's one of the experts in this new law of VAT, of European VAT, that was just passed in early January, and it's already it's something that we all entrepreneurs doing digital services have to keep in mind. So, without further ado, I will give you our friend Javier and our friend Enrique. Sorry, I forgot about you. So, Enrique, Javier.
Hola. Hello.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Awesome. Now we hear you.
Can you see the presentation, the slides?
We cannot.
They should be there.
Now. Awesome.
Wait a minute. Okay, now. So, do you want me to introduce myself, or do you want me to say hello?
Please, Javier.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Javier Sanz. I'm working for Quaderno these days. I'm gonna talk about Petit Hacks. It's my side project that I started to build in last summer, and in the last months, since September, October, it has started to get more and more people visiting it. Basically, Petit Hacks is like a website where I collect all the marketing tricks that companies and startups do in the internet, in their websites, in order to get more of our clicks, more of our attention, to sum up, in order to get more of our money. And I don't like the word growth hacking, but it's something that can describe this presentation. But I believe more in hard work and optimizing little stuff that can bring you more, not more money, but more user, more, as you said, like more retention, because once you get all your users, the important thing is to retain them. So if you want, we can start.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Petit Hacks born like an idea. Like one day I was sharing in Twitter, in my Twitter profile, like the guys in Kissmetrics. I'm pretty sure that you know about Kissmetrics. It's like an analytics tool let's say that. And I saw that once in their onboarding process, they were offering like, okay, if you pay us monthly, we are not gonna give you that extraordinary support that we are gonna give to our yearly users. So why you don't get a yearly account and we give you a super awesome support? And I was saying like, okay, if more startups could know about this kind of tricks or this kind of marketing strategy or marketing approach, why they are not doing something similar. That tweet had no retweets and no one was mentioning it. So I was like, okay, I have to create something bigger so I can put all this stuff that I am collecting day after day, like in front of more people, because I'm pretty sure that when a startup is really small, when it's just an idea, when they have their minimal viable product, they need stuff like this so they can grow faster, they can do smarter stuff in the internet. So that's how I decided to start with Petit Hacks. Petit Hacks, I'm pretty sure that you know about this startup metric thing. It was invented, or it was presented by Dave McClure. That is focused on each one of the phases or each one of the stages where a user participates or it's related with a website. So it starts in acquisition, then goes activation, retention, revenue, referral, and it's what people call the pirate metrics, because that's the sound of what a pirate does in English. And if you are curious about this methodology or this kind of marketing approach, you can. I'm pretty sure that if you go directly to Slicer, even in Google, if you type pirate metrics Dave McClure, you will find these presentations. It's really complete. There are a lot of data on it. So if you are building your own thing, go ahead and check it out. What I have done, I didn't know exactly what to put in my presentation, but I have selected like 3 Petit Hacks that are the most, the ones that I like the more. For instance, we can start with Beta Brand. Beta Brand is an e-commerce. They sell t-shirts, they sell trousers, they sell whatever you can find in a clothing store, but they sell it through the internet. Beta Brand is not the typical clothing store that sells in a boring way. They try always to do stuff like, for instance, I remember that they blog, even instead of speaking about where is the last collection of clothes that you can find in their site, they had like an optimizing A/B testing blog where they were telling about, okay, we had this collection, this t-shirt, and we were trying to sell it more with guys with more beard. So it's quite interesting, even if you are in marketing online in startups. You have to definitely to check out their blog. The first Petit Hack it's a beta grabbing is giving more money if you sign up into their site with your Facebook account instead of just an email. And that's something that at the beginning can be a bit like, okay, why these guys are giving me like a 20% more discount if I give them my connection with Facebook. And when you do that, when you sign up, you see that they are not only going to get your email, but they are going to also going to see what is your friend list, when is your birthday, in case they want to make like a special promotion. Okay, Javier, we know that your birthday is going to be in September. What could we offer you in September? Like maybe new trousers for going back to the university. Like, you know, this kind of, they don't mind to spend more money in acquisition of users if that acquisition can provide them more data about who is behind the screen. So it's super cool because even they know what I like every day in Facebook. If in a certain moment Beta Brand decide to make like a partnership with, I don't know, with a music band like Linkin Park, and they decide to release like a collection of t-shirts of Linkin Park, they could tell me, hey, we know that you have been signing up for Beta Brand, and we got here like a collection of your favorite band because we know that you like them in Facebook. So you can see what they are winning with me signing up with Facebook instead of their email. Another one that I really like, this has been, I have seen this Petit Hack in Intercom, in Kissmetrics, but this is an example in the MailChimp site. MailChimp site, as you know, it's an email marketing tool. once that you have signed it up, once that you have prepared your email marketing campaigns, whatever, if you log out in the screen, the guys use they redirect you to another landing page where they take advantage to show the latest features or the latest products that they have released. In this case, they were releasing like an application that they were creating for Instagram. So it's not they try to get your attention until the last minute or even the last second that you are in their site, no matter if it is when you have already logged out of their site or if it is when you are in their home site, in the dashboard, in the overview. For instance, the guys in Kissmetrics, I remember that they have done something similar to promote an iPhone application that they have. So you can check out. It's pretty cool. And the last one of my very favorite ones, it's related with DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is a hosting company. You get like they are super cheap. They are $5 per month for having a virtual private server. And every day that, for instance, if you receive like an invoice of, okay, this month you owe us like $50 because you have this amount of servers. And they know that that can be really painful for you, so they use that moment in order to tell you, hey, do you know that this invoice could be cheaper if you refer our product to any of your friends, and that you can earn up to $25 per friend that you bring us? So they, instead of, for instance, telling you in the moment that you are setting up your new website and in the moment that you are playing with the tool, in that moment, maybe it's not the perfect moment to get your attention to refer the tool, but they know that every month when you receive like the invoice of $50, $100, they know that's exactly the moment when you are gonna be like more willing to talk about your tool, and if you can get some dollars in exchange, that's the deal. Yeah, and that's all. I don't know if you want me to show you the website, so you can go. The website is www.petithacks.com. Let me check the. Just a moment. If you have any questions, I have been working with the startups since 2012. Okay. In the past, I have been working in an SEO tool. Not many. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we do.
With the browser and stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is Petit Hacks. Petit Hacks is basically super simple. It's a place where I have been uploading the latest hacks. And I don't know, I have been also talking about how some applications how some websites have changed over time about their pricing approach. If you are curious, for instance, the guys in eToro, they have a similar practice as DigitalOcean. They tell you to invite people when you are withdrawing the money of your account. I don't know what else could I say.
We are seeing a very, very, very poor. We have a lot of pixels in the screen, so we cannot actually follow in detail what you're saying. But let us see if the audience do have any question for you about Petit Hacks, and otherwise we'll move on and we'll give them your contact just to bomb you with a lot of questions.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so
yep.
Any question, any idea about how these small tricks can be performed, or some small challenges that you have been facing, or like to use Javier as a sounding box?
Which way is it on the smartphone?
In which way, sorry?
Is it only for platform web, or is it for smartphone application as well?
His service?
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah. No, he's just talking. Javier, they are asking whether it is a smartphone app or a web app, the Petit Hacks thing. So Petit you can answer that.
Petit Hack is a web app. The next steps that once that I find some time in my life, I want to create like a marketplace where I can list like growth hacking marketing strategies, but in a product way. But it's not. I'm planning to create a mobile site, but I have no time right now.
But it's actually, Javier, it's actually a collection of hacks, no? What you're doing there in the petithacks.com.
Yeah, it's a collection of hacks. What do you mean?
No, I mean that it's a blog, it's a web.
Yeah, actually it's a blog, but it's something else. I started it to learn about Ruby on Rails. It could be done with WordPress. That's true. Some people told me, okay, well, if you have started with this, why you have not made like a WordPress and will be super consistent? You will not care about sitemaps or having RSVP. But I wanted to do some stuff to play with it. So actually, you can sign up or you can log in Petit Hacks. You can save your favorites, and in the future, as I have mentioned, I'm planning to do like a marketplace for growth hackers or a marketplace for offering in order to offer your marketing service. It's a problem that I have seen, like some marketers or people that work in marketing. They have their About Me page, so they have their blog, but sometimes you see that they suck, or they are not really good at selling themselves, or they have like a contact page. So I want to make that super more to avoid the friction, to reduce the friction, to you can make for us like an email marketing campaign, or you can help us to increase our conversion rate optimization in 3 months. So something like that. You will see if you sign up there, or even if you leave the email where I'm saying that I'm gonna send a lot of spam to you, I will keep you updated, and yeah, you will see.
Awesome, Javier. So I will sign. I don't know what about the other guys, but I will sign up. What's any other question? Any other comment? No. Okido. So Javier, thank you very, very, very much.
Yeah, enjoy the sessions. I'm gonna be a bit more for the next session, but I will rewatch the session once that it's uploaded. Okay.
Awesome. So thank you very much, Javier.
Okay. Bye bye. Thanks.
Yep. And let's see if my trick works here. It's my own Petit hack. Yep. Okay. So for the next session we have Luis, who is gonna tell us about growth hacking, and he's gonna use a presentation of a third party that we should mention as a credit moment. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody. I need it.
Yeah.
So I'm Javier Dedo, and I'm the founder of Abstraction, which was one startup who grew like 100,000 users in 6 months without spending nothing in marketing, and it was just because of the viral methodologies that we applied. And now I will talk just about growth hacking. I have in my computer some bots that I use in Twitter to grow satellite accounts. So I create a lot of accounts for one topic, like for example fashion, and I use it to grow business of fashion. Right now I create Growth Hack Spain, which is a community of growth hackers here in Spain, because I need to learn more. So I thought that the best way is to get together all these people and just start talking and drinking beer. But we made a presentation like this. So this is not my presentation. This is a presentation for I don't remember the name right now, but it's at the end of the presentation, because I have all my presentation in Spanish and I have no time to translate it. I'm sorry about that. But I think we talk about growth hacking, but you don't know. You know what is growth hacking? You know what is this? Okay, let's go. Perfect, because I have kind of definition here. Hotmail is probably the oldest example of growth hacking. I don't know if you know that they started growing with when these people add this message at the end of the emails. So I love you, get your free email at Hotmail, and there was a link, and you click it, and you go to Hotmail. It was like kind of the historical example of what is growth hacking. In 5 weeks, they get 2 million users. So it's amazing. We want this. And the rest is now history. So growth hacking is the science of achieving incredible growth with non-traditional strategies. We are always like thinking that we need to pay money or spend money in marketing to get users. That's for real. But if we know the right way to do it, we will spend less than we think. So okay, and then is the science or the ability to move users from one state to other in the funnel of conversion. We will see what is that. But because what's the name of the first guy who speak?
Javier Sanz.
Javier Sanz said, I don't like this word. It's the same. Growth hacking is work hard and use different strategies to get users and to try to convert these people into customers. So growth hacking finds a strategy which needs to be scalable and repeatable. You need to scale this strategy to do it once and again and again and again and again. And what you can do is, for example, you can have one Twitter account in Spain, or you can have one Twitter account for each community of each city in Spain. Okay? Or for each city in the United States, or for each city. So you can have a lot of accounts growing up in followers. So, and the most important thing here is that you need to take all the decisions based on data. We can do it like, oh, I want to do that, but if you don't have data to support your decision, you are like doing whatever you want, but you are not doing the right thing. So you need a lot of data to extract these conclusions and find a way. So growth hacking combines technology, mainly developing, and marketing and sales. It's like a kind of marketer who knows about programming, design, UX, and a really good mix about that. So, it's good? Okay.
There's a camera recording.
Oh, okay. So probably it's recording my belly, but okay. So, and finally, the main goal is to grow a product, a service, an app, a platform, whatever, a blog, whatever you want. So, this is people saying that growth hacking is a mindset more than a tool set. So people used to think that you need a lot of tools. Yeah, of course you need it because you need to take decisions to take your decisions based on data. But finally, what we are doing in growth hacking is to move the users. Here is all the people who is in internet, and here is the people who reach your page, your website, your app, whatever. This is acquisition, the first part. When people came to my website and then register in my web page, right, or in my app. Then it's the activation. Is when a user is registered but use the application, all right? Start doing whatever they do. So they verify his email and all this stuff. Then is retention. For me, is the most important. Is the metric that tells you if your users love your company or your company sucks or your product is not really good.
So please help us get some retention, and I will pass your slides while you show your beautiful body over there.
You will do it? All right. So next is revenue. So we can improve the revenue metrics and making these steps more easy, all right? Or putting more people, or getting more people for the start of the funnel. Next. And finally, the referral. The referral is the way to make growth machines. Your app, your business, your whatever, your website, your blog must be a growth machine, which means that when you get one new user, it will refer to 2, 3, or more than one. Then when you pay for a marketing campaign and you get 1,000 users, you need to be sure that this user will refer to others. Next. Metrics, the most important thing here. Next. Oh. Growth hacking depends on data to make decision. Okay, we talk about that. Next. Okay, more. Come on. So this is not important. This is metrics. You need to define your objectives, your KPIs, right? This is a number that indicates you how are you doing what you do, right? Next. And you need to know your numbers. And there is a problem here because you can have like vanity metrics. Vanity metrics. It's called vanity metrics. There are metrics that you are using just to think that your product is working. For example, consider that active users is a 1 month active user. If one of your users log in your application at least 1 time a month, is an active user. This is a kind of vanity metric. You need to do it per weeks. Okay, so you need to look at these metrics. Is CAC, customer acquisition cost. How much money do you pay for each one of the users who log in or who register in your page? Next. Okay, that's right. And then it's lifetime value customer, which means how many times your customer will pay you. If your business is monthly based, your pays are mainly monthly based, you need to know how much time every people will pay for you. So if it's 6 months, you can make a simple equation to get how much money is every one of the users who finally pay you is given to you. So you can spend less money getting these people, and you will know the budget that you get income. And finally, the K is the viral coefficient. When this value is more than 1 or 1, you are a viral application. You are a growth machine because you have the way to get users, and for these users, you will get more users. 1K means that every people who use your application refer to other one who register in your application or more. If you have 3K, you are amazing. You probably will have a hockey stick, which is the metric that your users are growing like a hockey stick, and investors will be crazy for that. Next. Tools. It's mainly about tools, but everybody has tools. So what you need to do is to be creative about that. Next. Next. Here is the measuring tools, probably the best. Google Analytics is like, okay, it's good, but it's not the best. And then you have Intercom. It's more about Intercom is more about the interaction with the customers, with your users, and the way to activate them, because you can create kind of alerts that you write. For example, if user never visit my website or just sorry for my English. If it takes like 7 days and the person who registered 7 days ago is not returning. Yeah, it's not returning to my web page. I can make an alert, and it will send an automatic message to, hey, what's happening? Is everything alright? Mixpanel is for me is the best for measuring apps. His metrics is really good in almost everything, and you need to read his blog, and you need to have his app for the blog. It's amazing. It's probably the best for me. It's the best metric blog. And there is other like Customer.io, Track.io, and Verb. Next. I'm doing it fast because I don't know if I have time to do it. So there is for metrics, there is just metrics, not like the others that is like okay, it's metrics. There is just to see all the metrics, like in a dashboard, like dashboard, for example, and others. Okay. And now, no, what's happening? Now, next. Look, acquisition is probably not the most important because the most important is retention, but acquisition is one of the most used because a lot of business, a lot of startups is always fail here. Always very clear. They don't know how to get users, new people, and you can have a really good retention, but if you don't have acquisition, you will have nothing. So next. So it's middle, and it's probably one of the most. There is a lot of growth hacks to get traction, to get acquisition. I'm thinking in Spanish. So some techniques of acquisition. There is a lot. It's a list. I don't go inside of that, but because Nas will send you. I think you can send the presentation. And it's all these techniques for acquisition, so you can learn it properly. There is a lot, so you can do it to get it to acquire users. In Growth Hack Spanish, we mainly speak about acquisition, but in Spanish. And then it's activation. Activation is when you get, as I told you, when you get a new user, you need to activate them. You need to teach them how to use your tool and what's the reason they need to log you for your application. So next. It's activation. What we need to do to activate people is mainly tell them that use our application, and you don't take care about if you burn these people. Like, for example, if you send one mail every day, if they don't connect, because if they don't go to your webpage, this is not one of your users. So send all the emails you need to get this user activation. That's my point of view, right? And there is some techniques like, for example, gamification, A/B testing, a lot of different things that we can do to improve our activation of users. It's really important, but the main here is to have a really good onboarding process. You need to have a really smooth onboarding process, and you need to get your users love your app or your web in 5 seconds, 6 seconds. We don't have more time. Next. Retention is probably the most important, as I told you. So because this metric will show you how good is your product. You can't retain all the people who use your application. Probably you get like 30%. It's good. It's really good. It's a really good percentage. If your app or your web is amazing, you will have like 40% of retention, and it's a really good. But if you get like 2%, all right, 2%. If your business is based in a lot of users, it's not bad. But I really recommend you to close if you have just 2%, or to improve this retention. Because you will need a lot of people to get money. And then it's a referral. You need to ask your users all the time to refer you, to talk about you in social media, because you are awesome. All the people is like, oh, I don't want to bother my users telling them that share me in social media. Why not? You are an awesome application, you are an awesome web. Why not? Why not? Just ask them. But not asking. Use always imperativo. Frases imperativas? Command him, like use it, share it. Always is what works better. So you need to make your users your best marketing partner. And okay, product market fit. You know what is product market fit? It's probably one of the. It's really important because you need to find when you try to solve a problem, you are discovering the way. So you are probably pivoting and changing what you are doing. But the market fit is when you finally discover and develop the best solution for this problem. So you are in the market fit. Probably you will get a lot of users, a lot of clients because you are solving this problem. Okay, next. Okay, so these are techniques for referral. For example, affiliate systems, like if the people who share in social media or send emails or whatever get a little % of the sales. If, for example, with API integrations, if you are integrated with Twitter API, you can share automatically and without asking your user to do it because they give you permission at the beginning of the relationship. So, or invite people to your platform with the email the email, the typical invite your friends and you send one email to everybody of your contacts. So that's a lot of techniques, but it's probably, for me, all the parts are the most important because you need to have like a perfect funnel to get users, to get finally money for your clients. Next. Okay, here's my team, all this stuff. So this is what they said. So it's like growth hacking is not about getting revenue. Yeah, it's not, but it is. You need money you need money, but this is the American philosophy because they have a lot of money. So here in Spain, we don't have money. We get like 50,000 euros when they get 1 million. Oh yeah, we can do nothing. So the American people used to say growth hacking when they want to say optimization of marketing campaigns because they have a lot of money. They can spend 1,000 euros every day in Facebook, but we can't. In Spain, we are like poor in startups. So we need to find the creative way to get more users and the way to make them refer us. Some techniques. Here is, again, A/B testing, simply your pricing. This is probably the most important. We always think like 6 types of pricing is good. No, 3, just 3. 1 free and 2 paid. Or if you are not a premium site, 3 prices, no more. Never, or for example, no, it's like 1 price, but you can add this, and this feature, and then it's complicated. So, or for example, there is like a lot of people will tell you that this is not right, that charge $1 instead of free, because the people who really want and love your project will pay $1. But people who not, you don't want these people. They are just making you spend money in servers and all this stuff. So you don't want people who finally don't want to pay you. Next. There is all this, and this is the girl, Laura Moreno. Is a growth hacker. Is a top-level growth hacker. He's working with the 100 Fortune companies, and it's really good. I think he speaks Spanish because I told her, but I don't know if she's from Spain or not. She's living in New York, and it's avanzagrowth.com. Right? If you want to know more about this year, it's awesome. Awesome.
So we have 1 minute for questions because we have a lineup of speakers still. So guys, any question to Luis?
Do you think it's still hacking, even if you have a lot of process, a lot of techniques, a lot of tools, that it remains hacking in the spirit?
What?
Is it still hacking? Even if you have a lot of techniques, a lot of theories, things.
What I really love is to do black hat growth hacking.
No, si piensas que es hacking,
sí.
Con tantas técnicas y demás, sí, todavía sigues pensando que es hacking.
Yeah. There is a lot of techniques that we didn't know. We just need to find them. So I love black hats. I love black hat growth hacking. A lot of people is, oh no, growth hacking is this white hat. That's not. There is a lot of black hat techniques. So for me, it's hacking when you make something different.
You're being recorded.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay. So Luis, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for sharing. And we'll go to the next one. We'll be talking about retention hacking because we still have to. We still have 2 presentations to go, and I'm sure we're all eager to get to those rounds. But nevertheless, we are also eager to hear you. No, that wasn't the one. Okay, no. Okay, so. Mr. Collinwood?
Can you hear me?
Awesome. We do.
Okay.
Everyone?
Yeah, next thing I need to do is work out if I can get you to seeing my screen. Hold on a minute. It's that. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Can you see it if I do that? Hold on. Is that better?
Now we only see.
Can you see that, the full screen?
Nope, we see you in full screen. Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, well let's just try it again. How about that? No? Okay, I'll try it again. We'll just go with this and see what we can do, okay? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for having me. My name's Ian. I run a consultancy here in Barcelona, mainly working with startups and enterprise. At the moment, I'm teaching pretty much everything I know to a group of startups here at Startup Bootcamp in Barcelona, focused on Internet of Things and big data. So I want to talk to you today a little bit about one of the things I think is really crucial in startups, and there's this idea of retention. I think it's great that both of the previous two presenters have said that they don't like the term growth hacking. I'm going to be the third guy to tell you it sucks. The reason I don't like it is I don't really like the idea that that something as important as the growth of your company or the looking after your customers should be depending on cheap little hacks. This is important stuff, and we need to take it seriously. And the other reason I don't really like the idea of growth hacking is because when people talk about growth hacking, they're generally talking about largely about acquisition, getting customers through the door. And you don't build companies on how many people come through the door, you build them on how many people stick around. And for that reason, I'm generally of the opinion that actually retention is really the one metric that matters. It's really, to me, the metric that should trump all the other ones in the long-term growth of the company. And the major reason for that is retention is the best metric that you have to measure customer happiness. So if we're happy and we like something, we tend to come back. If we're happy and we like it a lot, we tend to come back and keep paying money. If people are leaving, there's a reason why they're leaving, and that's your job to find out. And a previous speaker mentioned the idea of product market fit, and actually retention is your best measure of product market fit. Somebody keeps coming back again, it shows that you're delivering value to them over time. Now, there's a couple of arguments on top of that about why retention is really important, and one of them comes down to money. It's an argument all about money. Can you see that slide? Yeah, it says money. Can anyone hear me at all? Yeah, am I being muted? Okay, I'm assuming you're muting me. So there's an argument about money, and that basically goes like this. If you're going to survive as a business, the lifetime value of your customers must be greater than your cost of acquisition. There's no debate about that. If it doesn't work like that, then you're bankrupt. Now, they say that sometimes your lifetime value should be up to 3 times your cost of acquisition. And that's a good metric to go by. But however you look at it, lifetime value needs to be lower than cost of acquisition. Now, how can you increase lifetime value? Either you can increase your prices, or you can increase the length of life that people stay with you. So you could just increase your monthly fee, or you can make your product good enough that people want to stick around and carry on paying you that. And likewise, how can you reduce your cost of acquisition? Well, either you can spend less on marketing, or you can make your marketing more effective. And the funny thing about retention is a focus on retention addresses both parts of this equation. I'll give you some ideas about the benefits of retention. So customers who stick around, they generally spend up to 50% more every time they come back to you if you're an e-commerce site. Customers who are happy, customers who are sticking around tend to produce much better referrals. They tend to help with your SEO because they publish positive content. They are less price sensitive. People who are loyal customers are less sensitive to prices increases. You get much better exposure on social media. You get positive outputs on social media, and they tend to get shared. Retained customers, happy customers have lower support costs. You don't spend as much time having to teach them how to use your service. They're more likely to willing to seek out that from other users or to teach themselves. And a really interesting outcome of good customer retention is that you have happier staff. Staff dealing with regular customers tend to be happier, and there's some good reasons for that. In terms of, so that's really the money argument. You know, that's why you need to do it for money reasons. But I think there's a kind of a moral argument about this, and it's basically this. So we spend all of our time receiving messages from companies, marketing messages, telling us how amazing those products are, telling them that buy this product and it's going to solve every problem in your life. And inherently, we're kind of suspicious of that. You know, we have this saying in Spanish, mucho ruido, pocas nueces. And it's funny that, you know, in the UK, we actually have 3 different versions of that. We have all mouth, no trousers, all talk, no action, and all hat, no cattle. And they all basically refer to the same thing. They refer to the fact that telling me something, promising me something is one thing, delivering is another. And really retention, if you're going to get retention right, it's all about delivery. It's not about the promise. It's about, can you actually make that person happy, and can you deliver that service to a high standard? I can tell you anything. It's when I deliver that you really understand whether or not you're on the company that you want to do business with. And like you said, you measure that by coming back over and over again. And really, I guess the question is, are you looking for a one-night stand, or are you looking for a lifelong love affair? Do you see your customers as just people to score from, or do you see your customers as people you want to build a meaningful relationship with, where there's communication, there's love, there's some kind of spirit and soul to that? The other thing is, do you see your customers as a resource that is to be exploited? You know, do you look at the world like a miner? You see people as money to be dug out of the ground, or you see them as a relationship? Do you see them like a farmer, something that you need to nurture and care for so that it will give you a good return, a good harvest? And really, boiling it all down, I think it comes down to, you know, who doesn't want happy customers? You know, surely you want happy customers. Well, happy customers stick around, and you know what? One of the other things that happy customers do is all of these things. You know, we spend more money with the companies that we like. We tell our friends about companies that have given us good experiences. We're able to write nice things about them. We don't care so much about price if it's a nice company. All of these things are true. So, all of that's true, and yet people find it difficult. Companies don't like focusing on retention. And I think really in my work I found there's 2 real reasons for that. First thing is retention is a systemic metric, right? It's not a metric that you can measure with just one thing. You can't say the reason why these customers aren't sticking around is because this guy here didn't do his job. No, the reason why customers don't stick around touches on every department in the company. Maybe they're getting really bad service from the people in the call center. Well, then that's a training issue, or maybe it's a recruitment issue. Maybe the wrong people are being brought into the funnel. Maybe you're recruiting the wrong types of customers that don't understand your product. Well, in that case, it touches on your acquisition strategy. Maybe you have investors who are forcing you to meet very, very short-term revenue goals. Well, in that case, it touches on your investor relations and your capital needs. So retention is not one metric; it's an aggregation of many metrics, and that's why it's really difficult. It's not like a conversion rate on a website. You can't A/B test your way to it. So that's the first reason. I think the second reason is that retention is inherently, it's a lagging metric, right? By the time someone leaves your company, by the time they stop buying your product, it's kind of too late. You know, it's already they've already given up, and so the changes you make today to your overall customer retention might not show up for months. You know, they might not immediately have an effect. So you need to be aware of how you can do that. So those are the 2 reasons that I think people don't like focusing on retention. It is hard, you know. People want to show things that are easy. People want to focus on the quick wins. Retention is a strategic goal, but you can do something about it. So the first thing to remember is, if you're going to do anything about retentions, you need to get yourselves familiar with cohorts. I'm going to have a quick look at the screen. So does everybody know what cohorts are? Anybody not know what cohorts are? Put your hand up.
Anybody knows?
Yep. Everybody knows cohorts? Okay, so it sounds like you're not that familiar with what cohorts are. Well, cohorts, so they're a way of looking at your data that allows you to see changes over time. So I'm going to show you the second slide that follows this. So look at what we've got here. So on this sheet, we have down the left-hand side the week that the new customer signed up, and across the right-hand side we have the number of people who stick around at each week. Yeah. So on the 22nd of April, people who signed up on the 22nd of April, after 2 weeks, only 19% remained. After 3 weeks, 13.2% remained. After 4 weeks, 10% remained. After 5 weeks, 8.2%. And if you look, people who signed up on the 13th of May, well, after 5 weeks, there's only 6.9% are actually sticking around. So you can actually see that over time, we're showing that actually we're doing worse. You know, we're actually losing more customers over time. So at 5 weeks, the number of people sticking around over 5 weeks, those figures are getting worse over time. And that's really important. And you can't get that from average figures. You can't get that from daily active users. You need to look at that according to when people joined your service, in order that you can understand whether what you're doing is making a difference, whether it's helping people to stick around. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So, so cohorts, you know, if you're going to do anything retention, you need to understand cohorts. Google it, read up about it. You'll basically, you'll get a lot out of it. So the second thing that you need to think about is, because churn is a difficult metric to measure, you need to look for what they call proxies, or what I call proxies for churn. So these are things that provide you with a signal that people will stick around. So they're strongly correlated with somebody staying with or somebody leaving the service. There's a business in the UK called LoveFilm. It's basically like Netflix. You know, it's a streaming video service. And because they know that churn is a lagging metric, it's a noisy metric, the proxy that they use is total hours of viewing, right? Total amount of time in a month that each customer has viewed. So if you're happy with LoveFilm, you're getting a lot of satisfaction from it. It's probably reflected in the number of hours of viewing you do each month. If they see that number dropping down, it's a sign that perhaps you're not happy. And the second example is dormant users. You know, very often if you're running a subscription business, you'll have quite a large chunk of your customers who never log in and carry on paying you. Now that sounds fantastic. It's great. It sounds like free money. But really all they are is people who've churned, but they just haven't bothered cancelling yet. And if you really want to be running a real business, if you want to be running a business that's truly focused on delivering value, you should try and find those users and tell them to leave or bring them back in. Because at the moment, they're just like zombies wandering around, bringing you in money that isn't really yours. In fact, technically, you're stealing from them. You're just taking the money because they haven't remembered. And eventually, they will wake up and they will be pissed off about it. So if you notice users becoming dormant, that's a trigger for the fact that they're probably about to churn. And then the second thing to think about is the number of users who are visiting your service, signing up but never activating. Now again, they are basically churn waiting to happen. So if you're going to try and make this stuff work, you need to understand what are the metrics that are strongly correlated with retention and churn. The other aspect I think you really want to take into account is onboarding. Now, I think the other speakers have spoken about this to a certain degree. When you're thinking about onboarding, usually what happens is people come to me and they say, "Yeah, I really want people to explore my app, you know, and I'm going to give them a tutorial, and I'm going to give them a walkthrough, and I'm going to give them like little arrows pointing to the different parts of the screen so they understand what all the features mean." Don't do that. People don't need that. I don't need to know all of the features of your app to start getting value, to start succeeding from using your app. If you think about the way Twitter does this, now Twitter understands that Twitter is a tool for listening and it's a tool for tweeting. We know that, right? But if you notice in their sign-up process, they don't even talk about sending tweets. They don't talk about how to send a tweet. They don't expect you to learn. What they know is if they sign you up and you end up following 5 people, then you will come back to Twitter because you will have enough in your stream that you think it's interesting. If you follow 5 people, you'll probably end up following 6. You'll probably end up following 10. You'll probably end up following 50, 100,000. And eventually, you might start tweeting. But it doesn't matter, because you as a customer are getting success from that app. You are therefore likely to carry on. If you never sign up for 5 people, you don't understand what the app is for, and you're just basically going to leave. So when you're thinking about onboarding processes, don't think about every single feature of the product that you wish that your customers would see and use. Don't even think about the ones that make you the more money. Think of the ones that deliver value to your customer and get them using those as quickly and simply as possible. That's what onboarding means, right? People don't have to be expert users or power users to get value that they're willing to pay you for. They need to get value for themselves, and they need to feel that they are doing things that they could not do before with your app. So that needs to be the focus for your onboarding strategy. And the final point I'm going to make, because I think we're wrapping up on time, is that really segmentation matters. So not all customers are equal. Not all customers are equal in how they arrive at your service, and not all customers are equal in the way that they use your service. And it is your job to dig into your data and understand segmentation, understand how, for example, retention matters and changes according to the acquisition channel. So in my experience, outbound telemarketing, ironically, it's the most expensive way to capture users, and it's usually the least effective in terms of retention. And it's obvious, you know, if you phone someone up in the middle of the day and you sell them something, well, maybe they'll buy, but they might not stick around. They probably won't stick around because they didn't intend to buy that anyway. It's a very poor way of segmenting. And because you've incentivized your sales guy to make money when he closes the deal, what's he going to do? He's going to sign up everyone, whether they're the right customer or not. And you're going to pay him his bonus, and then 3 months later, those customers are going to piss off and you've got nothing. So really think about acquisition channels and how they map onto retention patterns. You really want to segment people according to behavior. So it's possible that there are particular triggers, particular types of behavior that make people more likely to start using your product, particular things that get value. You might want to segment people according to how much they're spending. You know, you may be finding that customers who are free actually have a worse retention figure than customers who are paying. You may find that the ones who are paying the most are the most likely to stick around, but as that payment or as that spend declines, they get more likely to churn. But I can't tell you this. All I can tell you is that segmentation really matters, and it's your job to dig into that data and work out what secrets lie within there. So all of those are kind of, I don't want to call them hacks, but all of those are giving you some guidance about what things to think about. But if I'm totally honest, I think there's one thing that you can do that will make sure that retention becomes important in your company, and that's basically to connect all of your staff salaries and all of their bonuses to customer retention and only customer retention. Because if you do that, guess what? People will figure it out. They'll work out what things are affecting retention, and they will stop doing the things that cause customers to come on board and then leave. They will stop doing the things that damage your customer retention. The interesting thing about retention is it's an impossible statistic to fix. You can't play tricks with it. There are no cheap hacks. You can't front load it. You can't trick people into sticking around, or you can, but it's pretty unethical. So if you say to the entire company, hey, as of tomorrow, your entire bonus is tied to an agreed metric for customer retention. Now go make it better. You'll find that people will figure it out. So basically, that's everything I want to talk about today. I would love it if you have any questions. Yeah, my last little growth hack here is this slide here, which is you should follow me on Twitter. Look, I'm using imperative. So, any questions?
Thank you very much, Ian. Let's see. Any questions about retention for Ian? It's been a bit hardcore, Ian.
Either that or they didn't understand a word.
Not your presentation. I mean, the watching the screen, you know, very, very focused for 1 hour and a half. It's something that we haven't done in our whole lives, you know. Not if it was not a soap opera and you didn't tell anything about your lover or whatever. So we're still kind of.
I don't mind. I mean, if you have any questions, you can drop me a line or you can tweet me on that address, and I'll try and reply. It's a big topic. It's a big topic, and it's not easy.
Hold on a sec. It seems we have a winner here. So. Yep. So the one of the guys in the audience is asking what are the most common or the biggest common mistakes that people make in retention.
Not focusing. Hang on. I'm supposed to kill the screen share so you can see me. Let's get rid of that. I'd say the single biggest thing is not focusing on onboarding, not properly getting your customers what they would call activated in the pirate metrics. So people will invest an awful lot of money in acquisition and then just leave people to find out about the service themselves. And that's easy because it's a nice measurable metric, but it's a real waste of money. Activation can be expensive. I mean, if you're doing a big SaaS product or if you're dealing with something like Kissmetrics, you need to invest in making sure that the people understand what it's for. You need to provide them with a lot of hand-holding, a lot of content that is relevant and useful and support, and that's really expensive. And if you're doing a free trial or a freemium model, that can be a real challenge, because if nobody's paying you until they actually activate, you have to invest all that money in helping them activate, and a lot of them won't be the right people. So then you need to look back and say, well, we only want people to take up the free trial who are actually in our target audience and who are likely to want to activate. So then you have to review your acquisition strategy and go back up the funnel. People who sign up and then churn, it's a waste of money. You know, you're spending money on AdWords, you're spending money on SEO, you're pissing people off, you're getting people who have tried your service and then go away and say they didn't need it. So it's never worth acquiring people who aren't going to stick around.
Actually, the idea to invite you to this event, it comes from the day that we met, Ian.
Yeah.
Because we were talking with some successful entrepreneurs that were doing an awesome, and they were doing a beautiful solution, but they were confessing us in small talk that they had a huge chunk of, or a huge segment of users that were just paying by default, that they were not using the actual solution, but they forgot to cancel their subscriptions, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And your position was really really teasing to me, because you were like, have you tried to email your customer or tell them, hey, you're not using my platform, do you want to unsubscribe? And that's something very counterintuitive, but at the same time, I thought it was a very interesting kind of call, wake-up call, no? for users. If you have something else to offer them there.
I think it's a question of morality. I think it's a question of honesty. You know, those are zombie users, and quite honestly, it's in a world where none of us have enough money and everything is tight. If people are paying you and not using your service, you shouldn't be taking their money. And it's a really hard lesson for an entrepreneur, because sometimes that could make the difference between profit and loss. But if you're relying on basically people's ignorance and lack of awareness to fund your business, then you're in the wrong business. You know, if you keep with that, it never gives you an incentive to make the business truly valuable, to really invest in finding those customers who actually want to pay you. And that, it's a cold truth, but you have to face it. And if your company is building itself on those, then sooner or later you might wake up. Yep. Sooner or later, their credit cards will expire, and you'll stop getting money out of them anyway. So, you know.
So, Mr. Collinwood, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for bearing with me all these hours of wait until we had the pleasure of having you with us for a little while. And hope to see you soon.
Cool. The pleasure is very much mine. Have a great afternoon or evening, and I will see you all later.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And last but not least, we have one of my oldest friends in the entrepreneurial world. He has been a person that I have admired for a number of years already, and he's doing a beautiful solution, as I told you at the very beginning. And I don't get any commission. I just actually love the work that they're doing. And he's also, as we introduced, probably one of the cherries to put on top of the session to talk about VAT, European VAT for digital services. Carlos, are you there?
Hi, yeah. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with the presentation. No, where is screen? Okay. Can you see the keynote?
We do.
Okay. So Well, today I'd like to talk about the VAT zombie apocalypse. Well, I don't know if you know what's happening from January the 1st, but if you're selling to European
Yeah, we got banned. Carlos, we missed you. We lost you there. So if you are selling to, oh no, he doesn't.
Okay, if you're selling to European consumers, to European customers, from January the 1st, you have to deal with the new VAT rules. So I'm going to talk to you about this, and what you have to do with it, to deal with it, right? My name is Carlos Hernández. I'm Polymorfico on Twitter. I have a small startup that is Quadernoapp. It's an invoicing application for Stripe, the payment gateway. That's what's happening. A big mess. Since last year, if you sell a digital service or a digital product like software, like downloads, like ebooks, and so if you sell to a European customer, for example, a German guy, you have to charge the Spanish VAT, that is 21%. The same if you sell to a French customer or a British customer. But from January the 1st, the rules are completely changed. From now, you have to charge your customers' VAT rate. That means if you sell to a German customer, you have to charge the German VAT, 19%. And if you sell to a French customer, you have to charge the French VAT, 20%, and so on. So that's the rules change. And it's mandatory. All the business in the world, not only in the European Union, that sell to European consumers, that have to charge the consumers' VAT rate. Why do the European Union approve this new rule? Because they wanted to penalize, because before this year, big corporations like Google, Facebook, Twitter, PayPal, they all were based in Ireland or Luxembourg, and if they charge the Luxembourg VAT, so you know what Germany, France, or UK thought about that, right? So they were selling to all European consumers and pay that taxes to the Luxembourg state. So that's what they approved the new rules. But do all the services apply to these new VAT rules? No, only e-services or e-products. What is an e-service? A service is not a physical good. That is, if you're selling physical things like, like physical books or gadgets or whatever, you don't have to apply these new rules. It's essentially based on information technology, is mainly provided via internet or an electronic network, and the service is fully automated or involves minimal human intervention. That means that, for example, if you are selling via email, for example, if your customer sends you an email to make an order, and then you ask their email with the ebook, for example, and then you send the invoice manually, that is not considered an e-service, right? So that's very important. Examples of e-services are downloaded and online games, ebooks, images, movies, videos, downloaded and streaming music, all the software, all the SaaS, and website services, hosting, VoIP, ISIP. So if these new rules only apply if you are selling to consumers, not to businesses, and that's very important. But the question is, how do I know that my customer is a consumer or a business? Well, the only way to know that is asking him for a VAT number, or in Spain it is called número de IVA intracomunitario. So if you sell to to a German customer, you have to ask him for the VAT number. If he has the VAT number, a valid VAT number, you don't have to charge the VAT. But if not, you have to charge the German VAT in this case. So, so if you're selling a digital service and your customer is a consumer because he has not a VAT number, the third question you may ask yourself is, where is my customer? Where is the consumer, right? So you can ask him for the billing address, and well, it's okay, but he can cheat you. So you need another location evidence. You need at least 2 no-contradictory location evidences, right? So the first one can be the billing address of the consumer. The second one can be the IP address, or you can ask him for the bank location, from his bank location, or the country code of the SIM card, or the location of the customer's landline, or other commercially relevant information. You can ask all that information, 2, 3, 4 evidences, and you have to assure that at least 2 of those evidences are the same. For example, in Quadernoapp, we ask the customer, we ask for the billing address, we get the IP address of the customer, and we get the country of the credit card. So we check all those 3 variables, and we try to, if we have 2 variables who are the same country, that is okay. We know where the customer is, so we know what VAT we must apply. But if we have 3 contradictory evidences, that is, for example, the customer is based in Spain, but he's now in Paris and he's paying with a German credit card, in that case, it's not very probable, but we get, in this case, we'll have 3 contradictory evidences. And what happened then? So we make the purchase, we sell the invoice, we send the invoice, and then we ask the customer for an alternative location evidence to comply the rule, right? Because we need 2 of them. All the evidences you take to prove the consumer location, you have to store them for 10 years. That's very important. What happened? Because with these new rules, we are collecting VAT taxes from a lot of European countries. Do you have to pay all those taxes in every country? No, we don't. The European Union has created a mini one-stop shop. It's the VAT MOSS. There's a VAT MOS per country. The VAT MOS in Spain is in La Agencia Tributaria. And if you are selling to other European countries but Spain, you have to sign up in the Spanish VAT MOS, and every 3 months, the same way you pay the Spanish VAT, you have to pay the VAT from all the European countries through the VAT MOS office. That's it. If you have questions about this.
Ignition just. Right. So thank you very much, Carlos. So any questions? Yeah. Do we have a question there?
So you just register in your country, and then this registration is works for every different country, right?
How does the registry? Do you register in the tax agency, or how do you register to?
Yeah. You have to go to the, in this case, in Spain, you have to go to the website of La Agencia Tributaria, and you have to sign up for this VAT MOS office. And you can do it only online.
You can only do it online.
Yes.
Okay.
And you pay in Spain the whole VAT, and then Spain pays you. You don't have to pay singularly.
Yeah, you pay in the Agencia Tributaria, in the tax office. There's a one-stop shop, a ventanilla única,
Yes.
for the different agencies that where they represent, if I understood right, Carlos, where they have representative rights for every agency in Europe, right?
Yes, that's it. If you have collected VAT taxes from other European countries, you have to pay in the VAT MOS in the La Agencia Tributaria.
Is there a cap, Carlos? Is there a minimum cap for
No.
this?
There's no threshold at all. So no matter if you are selling, don't know, 3 books, or you are selling thousands of euros, you have to charge the VAT of your consumer's country.
Yep.
And is there an audit to make sure that you have like?
Of course. No. Is there an audit? Do you know if there's any auditing corp or an auditing body in the European Union beside the local agencies?
What did you mean? I don't understand the question.
Algún cuerpo de auditoría or something like that.
Yes, it's mandatory. You are collecting the taxes for other European countries, so the German tax authorities can audit you if you are not paying taxes in Germany and you are selling in Germany.
Yeah.
Are cryptocurrencies considered e-services?
Are cryptocurrencies considered e-services?
Sorry?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoins are considered e-services?
I don't know.
Bitcoins.
Bitcoins, yes, of course, no matter the currency. No matter if you are selling in euros or bitcoins or dollars, whatever.
No, I mean, if I'm selling bitcoins to Germans, do I have to charge them VAT?
Is the selling an automatic selling, and you're selling the service of the bitcoins via internet? If so, you have to charge VAT. You have to send an invoice and you have to charge VAT.
Okay, I will. Any other questions? You have to get good at this kind of shit. The Germans, if the Germans audit you, you will wish they never did.
Yes, and the opposite. If a German company is selling to a Spanish company, a Spanish customer, they have to charge the Spanish VAT, and they have to collect the Spanish taxes and pay them every 3 months to the Spanish government.
Yep. So,
this is very important because it's, for example, no matter if you are a US company or a Hong Kong company, you also have to collect and pay the taxes.
And if I use Quaderno with my e-services, does it solve for me the location problem?
Yes, if you're using Stripe or PayPal, we've integrated both tools with our platform. So every time you make a charge on Stripe, you charge a credit card, we automatically collect the billing address, the credit card's country, and the consumers or the customer's IP address, and we check all those 3 variables. And if it's not very probable in the case those 3 variables are not the same. We send you a notification so that you can contact your customer in order to ask him for extra evidences, location evidences.
Cool. So, one?
Yeah, it's a big mess. I know. I mean, in the UK, it's a very popular problem because I think they sell a lot to other European countries. It's not a very popular issue in Spain because I don't think many companies or many businesses are selling to other European countries. But in case you are doing that, you have to comply the new law, and if not, you can have problems with European tax authorities.
Okido. So, Mr. Carlos, thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for closing this session. I find it actually, even though it's a kind of a thick topic, I think it's a very important one, and I had already seen Carlos talking about this thing, and I thought it's a very important topic to cover right now. So, Carlos, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Bye.
Good talk. Well, guys, so girls and guys, let me check. Where is? Yeah, here it is. So we've had these fantastic people talking to us. I hope it hasn't been too hardcore and too pedestrian, but we have nevertheless run to pass it along, to get in a good mood. And I don't want to close the session without thanking Caroline, because she's always pulling together these events, and she has been pushing a lot to make all this entrepreneurship happen once and again and again. Okay, thank you. Thank you to our colleagues at Run Virtual, Hub, ESCP, and myself.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Now I'm talking about